All right, you guys are watching the Cam Rogers Show. I am Cam Rogers. Hit me up on Twitter. Spat off about whatever you think in regards to this very show. Let's talk about Ohio State football, and particularly Urban Meyer here, who recently had an interview with ESPN in hopes of clearing the air with this Zach Smith investigation and the domestic violence allegations, and of course Urban Meyer being investigated about his handlings of these Zach Smith allegations. So Meyer recently sat down with Tom Rinaldi of ESPN, and, well, what he said really didn't help his cause, at least in my eyes. He did say he made a mistake in handling the whole Zach Smith ordeal, but that he would never allow domestic violence on his team. Now, Meyer said, quote, "I want the truth to be out here. The truth is that I made an error. I erred in supporting and trying to help a troubled employee." Okay, so Ohio State's investigation said that Meyer, quote, "didn't deliberately lie at Big Ten Media Days when asked about his knowledge of the 2015 domestic violence allegations against Zach Smith, of course. Meyer said he made, quote, misstatements." Come on, misstatements? Guys, this is total spin zone here. The guy lied. People who are as powerful as Urban Meyer think they can get away with things by misstating and sidestepping and, let's face it, lying to the public, which is exactly what Urban Meyer did. And it gets better, folks. Meyer said the 3-game suspension was harsh, was tough. Oh, Urban, I'm crying for you, man. I feel so bad. He eventually said it was fair once Tom Rinaldi actually pushed him to kind of lean that way. Now, of course, Meyer was suspended for 3 games, and he's back this week for Ohio State. But, I mean, come on, Urban. Really harsh? Basically, the entire group of Ohio State's trustees were suffering from AP Psych term groupthink. Everybody wanted a lenient kind of punishment for Urban Meyer. You guys remember the story of one Ohio State trustee actually stepping down because he was disgusted with what he was seeing in the boardroom with all these trustees saying, well, you know, maybe Urban Meyer should just, you know, get 1 game or no games, a slap on the wrist and all of that. So, I mean, it's just an absolute crapshoot here because Urban Meyer just won't step up to the plate and actually say the truth. Misstated? What is a misstatement when it's an actual lie? No lie about this, though. FanDuel, the #1 daily fantasy app out there, folks. Get it done. FanDuel.com/chatsports. You get $20 for free when you deposit $5. Go ahead and play on FanDuel this week for college football, NFL, and so much more. Get it done, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and DM me on Twitter as well if you want to get into my game this week. Free entry. All right, continuing along here with the mess of Urban Meyer. Then there's this. Meyer has yet to actually reach out to Courtney Smith, who allegedly went through domestic violence abuse from her ex, Zach. Meyer said, quote, "That's something I have to think through," in regards to actually apologizing to Courtney Smith directly. Okay, so this is just a complete mess because you know Meyer is lying through his teeth about this. Urban, just say it. You knew. You looked the other way. Done. Like, we can move on with our lives here. And I don't actually have to talk about this because I feel like I do, because I feel like Urban Meyer is misleading the public. He's misleading you. It's irresponsible for me to not talk about this. But you guys, of course, are entitled to your own opinions out there, and maybe you think Urban Meyer actually did forget or misstated what he said at Big Ten Media Days. Is Urban Meyer a liar? Go ahead and type away. L for liar, T for truther. Let me know what you guys think about this. Here's the worst part. I think Ohio State is going to win the college football playoff national championship this year. They'll destroy Tulane this week. That'll be easy. I think they take down Penn State. They'll beat the Hoosiers of Indiana. Minnesota next, Purdue, Nebraska, overrated Michigan State. These are my 4 most important games for Ohio State this year. You got Michigan during rivalry week. There's MSU at number 24. They're going to be unranked by the time Ohio State plays them. Penn State's the big one in my eyes, and then Minnesota is an interesting one as well. I think Ohio State is likely going to win the Big Ten, get a top 2 seed for the college football playoff, and go on their merry way and win the title. Dwayne Haskins is playing out of his mind right now. I love watching that kid play quarterback. He's an absolute sharpshooter throwing the football. He's super accurate. Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins are both averaging over 6 yards a carry. They rank 7th and 6th, respectively, in the Big Ten in rushing. K.J. Hill is 5th in the Big Ten in receiving. You know, Alabama usually plays the villain in terms of college football. Ohio State is likely going to be the target once Urban Meyer returns this week and then the rest of the year, especially if they make the college football playoff. Everybody outside of Columbus will be off and against Ohio State. That I can tell you. And, you know, it makes for interesting theater in all of this. But, boy, what a story it would be if Ohio State does indeed win the college football playoff national championship and you have Urban Meyer hoisting up the trophy amid this whole scandal and this complete cloud of negativity over the campus of Columbus because of just the lack of information still we really do have, because Urban Meyer will not divulge much into it. So in that vein, let me know what you think about what team will win the college football playoff national championship game. Maybe you think it's Ohio State. You agree with me. Maybe you think it could be another team out there. Alabama, we shall see. Some good teams playing right now. We got Georgia as well, looking like a legit threat. But you look at the stats for Ohio State, particularly in terms of points per game, and I know it's the early going and all that, so these stats are a little, shall we say, misconstrued here. Let's wait until we get into some big-time Big Ten matchups here. But overall, pretty darn good for Ohio State so far this year. Without Urban Meyer, by the way, Ryan Day was the interim head coach. So to summarize, Meyer lied. He refused to say he lied. But at the same time, I still think Ohio State is going to win the college football playoff national championship game. I bet I just sent all the Ohio State football fans through an emotional roller coaster there. So that's how I feel about that. Meyer is now going to coach against Tulane this week and then the rest of the season for Ohio State. So he is back and ready to rock.